Hey guys, I'm Brad. I'm the probate house guy. I'm an active real estate investor and licensed real estate agent in the state of Georgia. I do a lot of manufactured home, mobile home deals, and I learned something new just this past month. If you have a manufactured home, and this particular manufactured home had a lien on it from GreenTree Financial, or AKA Conseco Financial Services, AKA Ditech. So GreenTree was doing manufactured home loans a long time ago. They also went by the name Conseco Financial Services. It's the same company, essentially. They were doing manufactured homes. They got in a bunch of trouble for doing predatory lending in 2003, and they were forced to file for bankruptcy. As part of the bankruptcy restructuring, part of the assets went to GE, and the mobile home loan. So Conseco did also other loans, like other kind of retail credit card type stuff, I believe. Anyways, that part got bought by GE Financial. And then the other part, the mobile home loan division, was basically sold to a new entity that was created. It was an LLC that was created and formed and was approved by the court. And there was a bunch of different companies that kind of created this LLC to buy this. These were like kind of private equity companies. And this entity that they created later changed the name to become Ditech. So they became Ditech. You've probably heard of Ditech. A lot of people have. They used to do a bunch of commercials on TV. They did mortgages. They also did mobile home loans too. And anyways, Ditech got in trouble again for predatory lending in 2015 and was forced to file for bankruptcy and basically shut down. So let me show you this. If you have a manufactured home, or really if you're dealing with a real estate closing and there's an old lien from Ditech, Conseco, or GreenTree that's still an outstanding lien on there that you need released, let me show you this document. Okay, let me share my screen with you here. Okay, so check this out. So did Ditech go out of business? What happened to my loan? This site, I found this when doing some research. This particular case was filed in February of 2019, so it was like 4 years after the bankruptcy. Some of the loans got got sold off to other companies. Now, in most cases, like I've dealt with, the active loans got sold off to all these loan servicing companies. But in many cases, there were loans that had been paid off, but the lien was never released. So therefore, there was no loan to sell to these servicing companies. So you got ShellPoint, NewRez. ShellPoint and NewRez are basically the same company. SPS, Select Portfolio Servicing, SLS, and ShellPoint Recovery. So ShellPoint, NewRez, and ShellPoint Recovery, they're all the same. That's all the same company. They're all operated under the ShellPoint umbrella. And then Loan Care LLC, I'm not sure. So a lot of the existing loans were sold off to these servicing companies, right? I'll let you guys read this page, but what do I do if I need a lien release for a mobile home from Ditech? Well, here you go. This is a lien release order. This can be used to remove or release any liens of the wind down estates on the properties of borrowers as they relate to title lien increases. So I dealt with a property in this case that he actually sold and paid off the loan he did a refinance in 2003. And he did it right as the whole mess was happening with GreenTree. And they never released the lien when he paid them off. They never released the lien off the manufactured home titles. In that case, he did a refinance. He put it in a 30-year mortgage, and he continued to live in the property for literal decades until like just 90 days ago, he sold me that property. It was a manufactured home on an acre lot. He sold me that property, and he actually paid off that loan he took out way back in 2003. He did it with it was like Regions or something like that. Anyways, we found out when trying to get replacement titles so that we can properly retire the titles that there was an old outstanding lien from GreenTree, aka Conseco Financial Services. So here's what you need. So here as the lien release order, you need this document. Take this document right here. This was issued in, actually, it was finally issued in 2022, or upon the motion dated, This was a court order This is 2021. I'm sorry, not 2022. In 2021, this is a court order from a federal U.S. bankruptcy judge. This was for the Ditech bankruptcy. By the way, I want to preface this. I'm not an attorney, so don't take what I say as legal advice. This is all a bunch of legalese here. Luckily, I kind of can sort of read this and kind of understand this. But essentially what this is saying, it is hereby found that blah, 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 blah. We'll go all the way to the bottom. By order, the entry of this order, the wind down estate shall be deemed to have satisfied any obligations relative to title lien inquiries. No further response by the plan administrator and wind down estates to any lien inquiry is required. Further, it is hereby ordered that the relief requested motion is granted. The wind down estate shall be deemed to hereby abandon any and all interest to the extent any of and release of the wind down estates of the property of any borrower as it relates to any title inquiry submitted or remaining unanswered after the entry of this order, including any future title lien inquiries. Future inquiry parties are permitted to present this order to serve as evidence of such release. I'm going to repeat that again. Future inquiry parties are permitted to present this order to serve as evidence of any such release. Okay, this is pursuant to the orders and confirmation. Automatic stay remains to permit inquiry parties to commit and continue disputes, including title disputes and non-monetary quiet title auctions or in non-monetary relief against the wind down estates. The plan administrator shall publish this order at the website established by the wind down estates. This is the one that I was just at, okay? So they were required to publish this. And then filing the wind down estates, all debtors have no obligation to accept any service process on behalf of the wind down estates. And then finally, it also mentions, oh, you know what? I say finally. Let me go back. I missed the part where it mentions that this is related to, let's go back up. Okay, here we go. The wind down estates. So this pertains to Ditech Financial LLC, which was formerly known as GreenTree Servicing LLC, Conseco Finance Servicing Corporation, and GreenTree Financial Servicing Corporation. Those are all the same. That's all the same thing. They're all the same company, just different names that they went by. So this particular thing covers Ditech, GreenTree, and Conseco all in one. So if you have a manufactured home and you need a lien release from them, and obviously you're not going to be able to contact them because they're out of business, you can take this document right here to your local county, municipality, or whatever, and they have to accept this. And don't let them tell you otherwise. This is a freaking court order from a federal U.S. bankruptcy judge. If they tell you they can't accept this, you need to ask for a supervisor and you need to escalate this, because this is an official court order from a U.S. federal bankruptcy judge that says that this order serves as any future lien release request. Take this down to them and show it to them, and save yourself all the time of having to jump through all the hoops of, all that stuff. So I hope this helps somebody. I found it. It helped me. We had an old Conseco Financial Services lien from 22, 23 years ago that was never released off of a property, and we were able to use this to get it released. When I first went down there, the lady was like, I don't know if I can accept this. And I said, whoa, what do you mean you can't accept this? This is a federal bankruptcy judge court order. Like, like the only thing higher than that would it'd have to come from like a U.S. Supreme Court or the U.S. Appeals Court or something like that beyond this, and then come from like the president or something. What do you mean you can't accept this? This is an official document. You are going to accept this. And she finally did. So anyways, take this document and hopefully it helps you get a lien released. Thanks again, guys. See you later. Bye.